And the Bills not only secure the win, they secure a playoff berth for the second time in the last 3 seasons. And they also get double-digit wins in each season for the first time since 1999. So the AFC playoff picture remains unchanged. After Sunday, the Ravens are still the 1 seed, working it all the way down to the Steelers, who are hanging on to that 6th spot. But let's get to Buffalo. I get it. They're facing a third-string quarterback. You can say whatever you want. This is a huge win for a young team led by Josh Allen and an ever-improving defense.
You know, I picked Buffalo today. I picked them for a plethora of reasons. 1, because they've been balling out all year. 2, because they could run the ball successfully. 3, because that defense, ranked 2nd in the league, is unbelievable. Playing against a third-team offense, come on. You got to go with the Buffalo Bills. And that not taking anything away from them. If they can throw the ball a little bit better, they're 28th in the league passing the football. Just imagine if they could cut that down to 14th or somewhere 10 to 15. These guys would be phenomenal. I cannot wait to see this game a week from now versus the New England Patriots. It's going to be a good one.
Yeah, that'll happen Saturday right here on NFL Network, by the way. Still, it's going to take a lot for them to win that division because they have to win not only next week at New England, but they have to win their final game as well. And the Patriots then have to lose Week 17 against the Miami Dolphins, so the odds are stacked against them. But let's look ahead. Let's say they're the 5 seed. They could go on the road, whether it's to a Houston or a Tennessee, and win because that defense travels.
Man, that defense travels. They got one of the premier corners in the game. They can get after the passer. If they could just protect the football today, they put the ball on the ground a couple times, running the ball offensively. They don't need to do that, especially we got Frank Gore sitting over there on the sideline, one of the best running backs that ever played a darn game. This team, I love them in so many ways, and I love the way they play for one another. I love the way they compete on each and every down.
Yeah, and Sean McDermott's done a great job up there, taking them to the playoffs in 2 of the last 3 years. But I love it. The question, are you going to start Duck Hodges? Because let's remember the reason he benched Mason Rudolph was because he said, I need a quarterback that won't kill us. Well, tonight, Hodges kind of killed him with 4 picks. So although he doesn't want to answer the question tonight, how would you answer it moving forward with 2 road games on the schedule coming up?
2 road games on the schedule. You got to play the guy that gives you the best chance to win, and you got to simplify things. When you got young guys and you get behind like that and you're playing catch-up football, that's what's going to come out because they're trying to make a play unless you narrow it down to one side of the field and just give them one side of the field to work with and high-low them all the way down the field. But other than that, man, it's tough with a young guy back there at the helm.
So Mike Tomlin isn't going to give me an answer. Deion Sanders will, unless you're going to give me Mike Tomlin bug eyes like this. Duck Hodges, Mason Rudolph. Next week against the Jets. Who are you starting?
I'm not at practice. That happens. I need to see them practice, man. I got to see them practice, man. That's what we do. I'm a coach. I got to see you practice. I got to give my team the best possible situation to win. Then I got to take the temperature of my team to make sure they're behind this guy.
All right, well, I would send you to practice in Pittsburgh, but it might snow this week. And we know what happens to Deion Sanders in the snow. I can't do that.
I ain't going.
No.
I ain't going.
All right. But if you take a look at the playoff picture with the Rams getting blown out down in Dallas, Seattle, not only did they clinch a playoff berth, they moved from the 5 seed to the 1 seed as of right now. Green Bay has punched its ticket. So, too, did San Francisco, although right now they are playing on Wild Card Weekend. Big picture here, Deion. The San Francisco loss is not huge because if they win out, which means Saturday at home against the Rams on NFL Network, then the final Sunday up in Seattle, they're going to be division champs. They're going to be the 1 seed. But who do you like more right now in the NFC? Is it the Niners or is it Seattle, and why?
I like the Niners because of their defense is impeccable. Their defense is one of the best in the NFL, and you could travel anywhere with a defense of that sort. They can run the ball successfully. Now, today, just was one of those days. You don't need to go cry, watch the tape. Don't even watch it. You know what happened. You lost, all right? David beat Goliath. That happens sometime in the NFL. But there's no need to break the glass in case of emergency. These guys can really perform. I don't like Seattle because I don't like them defensively. I like them as a team, but I don't like them to go the distance, meaning to the Super Bowl, because defensively, they're not sound. I don't think they're executing. Russell is bailing them out. They have a phenomenal offense, but defensively, they're lackluster.
Okay, but you know it's a different animal up there in Seattle. It's a different place to play, right? Some places.
Not really. Not really.
Oh, come on, it's
Not
loud.
really.
How many times do we have a false start up there?
We get hyped up on the fans, the 12. Ain't nobody playing in the NFL care about no 12. Ain't nobody care about no 12. Everybody got a 12. Every team has a 12.
Stop.
We just gave them a darn name.
Oh, Dion.
No, nobody. I have never seen a player walk off the field and say, you know what, man, that darn crowd really made a difference in the outcome of this game. Ain't nobody care about that.
You've never
whatsoever.
You've never played in a play. Well, maybe because, listen, you played offense in your day here and there. Maybe it's an offensive thing because you have heard the number of times where linemen are so lost out there. Wide receivers, they can't hear anything when they're 10 yards away from the football. You're trying to tell me that it's not a huge advantage?
No, only a home field advantage people was with the Raiders. You didn't want your family to go there because you were scared they're going to get shanked.
Everybody take a deep breath at home on that one.
I'm sorry, I just told the truth. I apologize. Everybody, if you're an NFL player, you do not want your family members. You understand what I'm saying? It's gonna be better in Vegas. That's why they're going to Vegas. The Raiders fans are real.
Move on?
The Raiders fans are real.
How about a much
I
safer
love me some
place
Raider fans
down there? All right, so Dallas ends up scoring a season-high 44 points. They finally beat a winning team for the first time in 7 tries this year. All is well. You're buying them again, right?
I'm not going to say I'm buying them. This is the worst division in football. Therefore, they have a solid chance to win the division. Why? Because first and foremost, the offense is phenomenal. We can sit here and say what we want, but this is the number 2 ranked offense in the NFL, number 1 in yardage per game. I mean, Dak is just Dak is balling. We don't give him credit. Dak is balling. Everybody say, why don't you just turn around and hand the ball to Zeke? Well, the game has to dictate that. When you see 8 men in the box, you got to throw the football. That's why Dak has been so prominent in throwing the football yardage-wise this season. But the game today, it predicated that you turn around and give Zeke the football, and that's what they did. And it paid dividends today. Defensively, guess what? They came up with some plays. They made some plays defensively, and to me, that was the difference of this game.
No question. I want you to look into your crystal ball. Do you have a crystal ball in your room right now? Anywhere hanging out?
No crystal ball.
No. All right, let's say the playoffs stay exactly the way they are, seedings-wise. Dallas would host San Francisco on that first weekend. Would Dallas have any chance against the Niners?
Yeah, you always have a chance. If you're in the NFL, you got a chance. You got a shot. Okay, see, some teams match up. Some teams match up good against the other team. I'm not buying the Cowboys and letting you think they're back on top. They're ready for the world. No, but they got a shot. Atlanta had a darn shot today, and they took it, and they won.
So the Packers, they clinch a playoff berth. They're currently the 2 seed right now. So as you can see, 4 of the 6 spots have been reserved, although we don't know the order yet. So you've got Green Bay, Seattle, New Orleans, San Francisco. Out of those 4 teams, Dion, it feels like to me that Green Bay is a distant 4th. Am I off base? Am I being unfair to the Packers?
No. You're right on point. And the thing about the Packers, they're winning, and I love it. But I don't know how. I love the fans. I love the history. I love me some Aaron Rodgers. But what are they good at? They don't run the ball great. They don't throw the ball great, although they got one of the most prolific passers in the history of our game. They don't defend the pass well. They don't defend the run well. I don't know one thing that they do great, but they have the record that speaks for itself. But out of all the teams that's there, I dislike them the most.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know what I think it is?
Because of that, I just can't see one thing that they do well.
I think here's what it is. I think that fans look at Aaron Rodgers and they say, okay, future Hall of Famer, easy. He can win him a game if he needs to in January. I think that's what it is. It's right?
No, I don't think it's that. The team. I mean, forget the fans. I'm talking about the team. I can't think of one. They have backs. They could throw the ball. Devontae. I mean, they have everything you want, but it's not one particular thing that I can hang my hat on and say, well, they're going to do that well.
117 and 117 is a starter for Eli. What's his legacy, Prime, up there?
He's achieved some incredible things. 2-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time Super Bowl MVP. He's a pillar of consistency. My son plays quarterback, and I teach him about Eli and the Mannings. He had an opportunity to meet Peyton this past offseason. These guys are consistent with who they are.
Right.
I don't care win or loss, you're going to get the same person. You're going to get a polite, kind, considerate guy who puts his team first, and that's what the Mannings always do. And I love me some Eli. I had an opportunity to shoot a couple commercials with him. We kind of bonded, and I love who he is away from the game. But only thing I've seen of Eli is a pillar of consistency with no matter what.
Yeah,
and I love him for that.
Well said, Dion. Well said. It'll be interesting to see if he wants to keep playing in a different uniform if it ends up going down that road, because we all know that Daniel Jones is the future up there in New York. So good job by Eli Manning and the Giants on this Sunday at the very least.